Hey brother, it's late. It is a little after midnight, and it's just one of those nights. It's funny, these car videos, they're never scripted. They're always very spare of the moment. And they started because over the last couple years, I would get into this state of mind in the evenings where my mind was racing, I was ruminating about things, and instead of just sitting around in my living room, I would get in my car, would drive anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and just have conversations with myself, with God. I would pray. And so it's kind of cool how this car series, whatever you want to call it, how it birthed from that, and now I get to talk to you about things. The topic I'm going to get into is a topic that's pretty popular on YouTube. I do not want this channel to become dedicated to this topic, but my goal is to discuss things that an older version of myself, maybe a few years ago, could have really benefited from had I had the opportunity to jump into a time machine and have a conversation with that slightly younger version of Ryan. So that's what I'm doing here. And that topic is semen retention. I have seen all kinds of content surrounding this topic. Some people say that it's bullshit. Some people say that it's magic. And, there's something spiritual about it. I'm just going to share my personal experiences with you, and I'm going to be completely honest. And my stance on retention is that it is actually single-handedly one of the most life-changing practices that I have ever adopted. I remember I had first heard of it. I was in Books A Million with my ex-wife, my wife at the time, and I came across Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, and I was just looking through the table of contents, the index, and I saw this chapter on sexual transmutation. I was like, what the hell is that? I started flipping through some of the pages, skimming over it, and I was really intrigued. I didn't really have an opinion at the time, so I picked up the book and I dove into it. When I started practicing retention with intentionality, because I had seasons in the past where I had heard of NoFap and things like that, and I was like, let me give this a try. I didn't really have any intention, and it didn't really do anything crazy. But when I did it with intention, the intention of redirecting that sexual energy into other things, into creativity, into productivity, into things that felt purposeful to me. The work that I put in was imbued with this different quality of energy. And I started to see results. I started to see the songs I was working at the time. I have a background of music and songwriting. My songs just felt more earnest and genuine, and even more intelligent in a lot of ways. I can honestly say that this YouTube channel would not exist if it wasn't for my practices with retention. We live in an age where men are addicted to ejaculation, and it's become normal. And I'm not judging anybody. I think most men ejaculate anywhere between I believe it's 3 and 4 times a week. And that's a lot. And you have to understand, as procreative animals, whenever you ejaculate, there's a mechanism in your body and in your mind that gives you this sense of accomplishment and completion, that you have successfully procreated. And when that happens, your drive for a time temporarily diminishes. And if you're doing that all the time, you're constantly in that state. And there's this sense of lethargy. You can still get things accomplished, and I'm sure there are people out there who have done great things, who were pathological masturbators and consumers of porn. But what I would say to you is, why not have every edge that you can possibly have? I remember when I would hear about these things, a part of me would say, this is probably bullshit. So what did I do? I put it to the test. And that's what I would encourage you to do. I would encourage you to become a fucking scientist. Right now, this is all a hypothesis that I'm presenting to you. And to me, it is objective truth for myself. It is something I've put to the test. I've experimented. And the conclusion that I've come to is that this is something that's very important for men to tap into. Especially if there's purposeful work that you've found, that you're investing your time and energy into. This will imbue you with an advantage that you have never experienced if you take a step of faith and you try this out. If you are single, you will find that your interactions with women, as you get deeper into your retention journey, will be different. And what it is, I don't think it's this magical thing. So people are like, oh, they can smell it on you, it's the pheromones. There might be some science behind that, I don't really know. But what happens is, you're different. And when you're different, the world, people, react differently to you. You have this drive, you have this desire, you have this sparkle in your eyes that can't really be quantified. And people notice that. People can sense that. You also have a degree of self-respect, especially if for the first time you've rid yourself of pornography. Because as a man, I don't believe that you can fully respect yourself when you are regularly watching another man fuck a woman that you find desirable. It's a very emasculating practice, and I'm not judging you. That's been a part of my life as well. But a switch flipped once I rid myself of the consumption of pornography, and I knew that I had conquered that area of my life. I had this degree of self-respect, and it was genuine. It was like a reverence for undertaking this mountain that most men will never achieve in this modern day and age. It's something that you can be really proud of, and you will carry yourself with a different energy and with a different confidence. So, once you get to that point, then I say, why not take it all the way and experiment with retention? If you're a creative person, it can honestly change your life. Again, I'll say it, this YouTube channel wouldn't exist. This idea to put a camera on the outside of my car and talk to you came from another place. It came from this creative energy within me. And it happened, funny enough, at a time where in the evening, when I would in the past usually be bored, sitting with myself, not knowing what to do with my mind and the energy circulating in my body, and what would I do? I would pull up a website, I'd find the perfect video, and you know the rest. So, experiment with this, become a scientist. It does help to have support. So right now, you've got my support. I'm encouraging you to do this thing. If you want ongoing support, I started a community. It's called the Conscious Men Community, ridding ourselves of pornography. That's been one aspect of it, but we talk about all kinds of things. If you're on a fitness journey, if you have goals, if you're delving deeper into spirituality, if you want to heal your past trauma, if you want to gain the courage to approach beautiful women, it really is just becoming the best version of yourself that you know you're capable of becoming. So click the link in the description if that is something you're curious about. We do Zoom meetings every single week, 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm very active in there. I charge quite a bit for one-on-one sessions, not because I think I'm some kind of epic guru, but because time is honestly short. I'm a father, I'm a creative, I'm doing all kinds of things, and I'm spread pretty thin. But this is a really affordable way to connect with me and other like-minded men, and it's been amazing. I really want you to experiment, become a scientist with retention. I know it sounds like a big undertaking. You don't have to be perfect. Don't ask of perfection of yourself. This is a process. It might take you time to get to a place where you can rid yourself of pornography and start practicing retention. But just start. Get on that path. Okay? You can do this. Most men can. You just have to take the steps. That's all I got for you tonight. You are loved, you matter, and you've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. I really believe that. I'll talk to you soon.